So good morning, active traders, and welcome to our Trading Week Ahead broadcast for today, Saturday, January 21st, 2023. Great to see another big epic turnout. Glad to see you guys can make it this week. What about yesterday's rally? It's something, right? To put it in context, I thought I'd show the one-year chart. We're still in a downtrend. It's still a bear market rally unless or until it gets over R1, which would be 400's immediate momentum resistance area, but the major one is going to be the 412 or so, right above this peak. So unless the market can break the trend by getting above that previous high, I'd be cautious long. Now, industry group wise, what industry groups are strong lately? Well, Bitcoin stocks have been up a lot the last few days, right? Marathon, Coinbase, and Blockchain Riot, BT, and others. So from a relative strength standpoint, metals have been strong and Bitcoin have been strong. So that's kind of a strategic forecast for next week, is keep an eye on your metals and your Bitcoins, and we'll see if they run up. As we take a look at some of these charts, let's kind of zoom in here. We're going to look at the intraday charts in just a minute too. Well, in fact, in breaking, well, actually we have to look at the S&P. So look at that. The S&P is obviously bounced yesterday, but we're still in a directional downtrend. So from a volatility standpoint, R1 would be right at 400, R2's up around 412, and S1's obviously at 375. What we want to look for is how can we potentially make money next week? And so the way to do that is to focus on whichever directional industry groups are the strongest. So Bitcoin was strong. Airliners were strong too, right? Delta, American United. So airlines, Bitcoin, and our volatility plays as well. Tesla was strong too. Was anyone else trading Tesla last week? Take a look at the Tesla chart. Tesla had been making a lot of winning calls for my live room members for day trades as well as swing trading Tesla. It's doing a bounce here finally. Bullish engulfing off the 100, so that's both an Eastern and a Western signal. And again, learn candles exclusively from my colleague Steve Nissen at www.candlecharts.com because what he teaches works. Anyway, that's a bullish engulfing, which also confirms support at the even $100 share, right? I use even numbers or multiples of 10 for these expensive instruments. So Tesla is a really good play for next week, likely if it breaks the 140. I'd look to trade it between 140 and 160. That would be the Tesla play next week. If we look at Bitcoins, we'll look at the intraday charts in a few minutes here. But you can see, obviously, we've got a move up in this as well. This is Marathon. Now, when it comes to bottom fishing, usually an old saying, well, there's an off-color old saying about bottom fishing. The point is, what you're looking for is increasing volume off a base, right? And that's exactly what we have in Marathon. We've got increasing large volume. It's been going down large volume, which is both short covering and short squeeze, as well as speculative longs. So if we do take out the $10 share, Marathon may be good. And Coinbase was pretty good too. It's kind of up and down yesterday, but overall up the last week and a half. So for swing trades, I think those may be a play. Before we look at other charts, let's take a quick peek at the VIX. We're going to look at a close-up. Now, historically, over this past year and all years prior, the VIX always cycles up and down. And you can see it was up, then down, then up, then down, then up, then way down, then way up, then way down, then up, then down a little bit. Now it's starting to go up again. Let's have a bearish shadow until we break 22. I'll be scaling into the inverses like SPXS and VXX and whatnot aggressively if and only if the VIX gets over 22. That's going to be my key R1 level for the VIX. And obviously 18 support. So the main thing is eyes on the prize. If the VIX stays where it's at or goes up, the market will keep going down, obviously. And if the VIX gets over 22, watch out below. We're going to go long things like SQs, SPXS, UVXY, VXX, and other inverse instruments. Now, the VIX has been overly complacent lately. Normally it bounces up a lot faster than it took. It's almost 2 months now. It's been down in the gutter, which is very long. Normally it stays down for maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So let me take a look. And also, if you folks have tickers you'd like me to pull up, let me know. Let's start off by taking a look at the ones from last week and see where we're at. Now, VIPS had been a great chart. And it's still okay, but it's got, remember, one thing to look at is the ratio of recent green to red candles over the last, say, 8 to 10 trading sessions. So we got 4 out of 5 reds, and the green is a shooting star confirming resistance at 16. So we obviously would not want to be long here. We'd be cash in this thing here. I'd go long only if it breaks the 16. Okay. Now here's TME. One thing it took me a long time to learn, many years in fact, is just because something's gone up before, it doesn't matter where it came from. Well, it matters a little bit, but what matters more is the right side of the chart or the most recent week or two. This thing's dead money walking, right? It's sideways chopped the last 2 weeks, so I wouldn't touch it unless it breaks over the, I don't buy 9, so I'd wait for a 10 on that. So TME was good, not so much now. That's one strategy point I wanted to help you with is just because something had been good for you, maybe you made some money with it earlier during the breakout, if it's now in a consolidation zone, it's just tying up your capital. So go back to cash and trade something else that is in the process of going up. NINE looks good up here if it breaks that 1750. Now this chart looks really good. Despite the shooting star it had a few days ago, it overcame it a little bit. So technically the corrective pullback or reversal has been overcome, and we look for long now if it breaks 720. So that would be one of the top picks of the week is CBay. Because it's got a really nice 45-degree angle, clean break, and it's got a good price action, obvious entry area up there. So north of 920 in CBA. Why? Let's see, Eagle. It's kind of a bunny slope for beginners, but it's still a nice uptrend. So that one's fine. I think that's Echo, either Echo or Eldorado Gold. Anyway, now silver's dead money, right? It's not doing anything. Let's take a look at some other charts. Then we'll look at day trading charts in just a minute. We'll wrap up in about 10 minutes here because I'm tired. JPM, it's been a long week. JPM is doing nothing. These are your guys' picked from last week. That one looks great though. GGAL, that's a really nice chart. It almost doubled from 8 to 14, so that'll play. Let's see, VYGR, TikTok. Yeah, it's a little dangerous. I wouldn't trade that. Too random and haphazard despite the buying pressure. And more likely to get stopped out. This one looks good if it's able to get over the candle high up there over the 13. So 1320 or so on YPF, that still looks like a good chart. Thanks for whoever mentioned that last week. Newmont Mining here, let's take a quick look. Yeah, it's good. Metals have been up lately, right? Freeport McMoran was one of our picks yesterday for our members in the live room. FCX did great. And just a reminder, just a quick reminder here, commercial message. If you have not yet joined my live room, do give it a shot. I've trained thousands of people in it. I'm up 28% in sales year over year from last year, so that's a relief. And I've been running the room since the year 2000, so 2 decades of experience, tens of thousands of hours of experience to help you guys spot the best breakouts and exactly where to enter, where to exit, and what's worth trading. So join my live room if you're not yet a member, please. And what do we have here? Let's pull up old Ford Motor Company. So metals are up. Newmont was up a bit. Ford looks like junk. I mean, it was good, but it's pulled back off the earlier high. The CEM chart, thanks to whoever mentioned that one, still looks good. Nice steady uptrend over the 42. Oh, thanks. Matt's telling me Newmont's got earnings next week. Not enough fault. That has too many gaps. And GDX had been up as well. Someone's asking about the ticker KWeb. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, it's an okay chart, but the problem with these is, I don't like these ones that have gaps all over the place. But yeah, it's okay. It's in a good uptick. Let's see what Genworth Financial. I think that's what GNW is. Yeah, that's a good chart. I like that one. Yeah, GNW, that'll play. Thanks. That's what I would trade too, because it's not got too much volatility, but it's got a reasonably steady uptrend. Now, again, this is not one that you would day trade scalp because it's got narrow range and choppiness, but it is a very good one for like I said, just for trading for a long-term swing trade for a few weeks or a few months. It hasn't gone up a lot, but it's a slow, steady runner. Let's see some other tickers here. I want to look at some day trading charts in just a sec, but let's see. Hey, thanks, Polly. AHR. Day trading, not swing trading. The range is spectacular. That's a good one. Thank you. I will look at that for our day trades next week because it has a nice 4-point range. So that one's good, but it's too volatile for swing trading, but perfect for intraday. So thank you, sir, for that. Let's see, PARR. Yeah, it's another good one. Good volatility. Not a trade recommendation, but I would go longer than the nearest whole number up at the 27, and then RVNC. Let's take a peek. I get closer to the monitors here. It's a volatile chart, but it'd be too dangerous. It'd be more likely to pull back. Now let's take a look at intraday charts for the fellow day traders. I'll put this on a 2-day basis. I often do multi-time frame analysis for our members in the live room. So we'll often pull up not just a 2-day chart, but a 4-day or 10-day, and take a look at key support resistance levels, both for swing and day trade. So I cover everything for my members. Let's see. Let me get this here up to 2. So our Bitcoin stocks like Marathon and Coinbase were especially good yesterday. Mara was okay, but Coin was a lot better. It had a nice, like a cleaner breakout pattern, right? So that was a perfect chart for a day trade. I called along for my members and Marathon earlier in the session, and it ran up all the way into the close. Now this one illustrates a good example of a strategy that we're trading and teaching in our live room, which is buy the open, sell the close, BOSC. So you don't have to worry about navigating the ups and downs and getting chopped out and all that in the middle of the day and so forth. It's buy the open, put a hard stop right under support, then walk away and come back at 330 or so and see where it's at. Tighten up a trailing stop to within a quarter point or so into the close, and that's a really good way to capitalize on or potentially make profit from an all-day long run without having to manage the ups and downs. Let's buy the open, sell the close. SPC, also a nice runner up here to the 5 1/4. Trader, I think I was making mention in you. Now Tesla, I called the long frame members yesterday. Right there, 128.7. I think how much money could you have made had you bought my 128.7 call and let it ride into the close, right? Now this illustrates a really good example of why buy the open, sell the close can oftentimes beat, scalping day trades. Because this one, I would have been out right here. It's like the 130. In fact, that was my first exit call. So for a day trade, that's fine. If you buy 128, sell 130, that's great. That's a $2 run. But how much more profit could you have made had you been patient and just let that trade stay alive all day and closed it out, 330 or 4, right? If you'd bought 128, sold 133, that's $5 of profit. Up to $5 one could have potentially got in that trade, whereas the small initial open range breakout would have been buy the 128, sell the 130, maybe 131. But does that make sense? Does the truth of the situation make sense, that experimenting with buy the open and then leave it alone until end of day and then go to cash at the end of the day or 330 or so makes sense? I think it's a strategy worth continuing to test. Remember I mentioned Freeport was up a bit. Up a lot. So keep an eye on your metals, your airliners, and your Bitcoin. Those are the three sectors. Metals, whether it's gold or copper or USDLX or whatever, metals are good. Your Bitcoin plays like Coin and MARA and Riot are good. Metals and also our airlines, because of big profits, being able to get away with selling seats for a lot of money. Again, this one would be better for swing trade than day trade because it's got a slow, steady move up, which is fine. So anyway, lots of good charts to work with out there. So just a reminder, friends, this year I'm not going to be holding these events the last Saturday of each month. Instead, I'll be doing the trading summits at www.tradingsummits.com. That's going to crush SEO, right? Boom, I acquired that domain day before yesterday, and I already programmed it all and got it all set up. So this is a replacement for worldstoptraders.com, because that was kind of self-congratulatory and also too many words and too long and too much stuff to type in the dang browser. So the replacement is now Trading Summits from now on for the rest of at least my life, working with my colleagues to do these Saturday events. We've got one coming up next Saturday. The registration link is on this page at tradingsummits.com. If you scroll down, there's a big green button that has a Zoom link, so you can register there. Hey, Andy, thanks. Let's see. Wow, a lot of comments. Sorry if I missed your guys' comments. They're whizzing by here. Okay, thanks. So anyways, tradingsummits.com, I'm proud of this. I put a lot of work in that, and it's a nice looking, I designed that logo myself this morning. I spent years learning graphic design, video production, professional speaking, all the web design stuff, copywriting, all the stuff needed to run an online empire with thousands of customers. And so anyway, thanks for being here. These things are free the last Saturday, and they're being held the last Saturday of every month this year. So the calendar is updated regularly as people approach me and ask if they can be speakers. So that's at tradingsummits.com. What do you guys think overall? Is that a better name than World's Top Traders? I think so, because World's Top Traders is kind of like bragging, and I don't like to, I learned my lesson. I don't like to brag anymore. I like to be more humble. And also I want something that's easier and more intuitive and shorter, easier to remember, easier to type in the browser and all that. Everyone's saying, yes, okay, nice, thanks, looking good, thanks. I was wondering green or red background, but I like blue or red background, but blue looks good. Oh, thanks, Polly saying Trading Summits is much better. Thanks, everyone's saying. Okay, thanks, wow. Thanks, Judith, William, Marfana. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Kim. Hey, thanks, Steve. Hey, thanks, man. All right, so that's, my gift to you is free Trading Summits. And again, so we will not be doing these. I don't have the energy to do both a 3-hour thing plus one of these. So we're going to not do the Trading Week Ahead broadcast the last Saturday of every month, instead, we'll be doing even better. We'll have more people than just me talking. The trading summits are scheduled for the last Saturday of every single month for the whole year. So do stay tuned for those, and wanted to wish you all the very best for a successful year ahead, right? Remember, I don't like New Year's resolutions. I like to simply, this is a very good format for improvement in companies and in families and everything. It's just more of, less of. Get the dialogue started. And as a trader, we can be our own best friends or worst enemies, right? I know it's the case for my lessons learned and my successes learned as a trader. So I always ask myself, what am I going to do more of? What am I going to do less of? For example, in entries, I'm going to focus on more of only doing 2-day high breakout gap continuation runs, small gaps that continue up above the previous day's high. That's the best trade in the book. So I'm going to just do my damnedest to just do those only, not trade anything that's inside the previous range or trying to bounce off a low, but it's got to be above the previous day's high and going up. I'm going to do more of that and less of anything else. I also want to make sure that I do less of trading in the middle of the day. Or if I do, I have to cut my size down to something minuscule, piker size. So, oh, thanks, Matt. I appreciate it, man. Everyone's chopped liver compared to you, more of us. So. Hey, thanks, Judith. Appreciate it. Hey, thanks, Ian. Hey, thanks, Mahmoud. I didn't see your question. Oh, thanks, Raul. Saying much better, easy to remember. Yeah, tradingsummits.com. So easy to remember. TS, tradingsummits.com. That's a pretty cool, like a carbon background, and it looks kind of neat. So keep it simple. That's my motto for this year too, is continue to simplify, make things easier than ever to understand, make sure that you guys get it and can repeat it and understand fully from start to finish what to do and all the rest of it. Oh, thanks. Appreciate the long calendar spreads. I'm not an options trader, but thanks. That's a good point. Hey, Mira, CPRX. Let's take a look. Well, I'll pull it up on my own later, but thanks. Smart Trader Mira is saying, look at CP, Charlie Papa, Romeo X-ray, CPRX. So that's probably one worth a look to. So anyway, folks, we're going to wrap up for now. Trading Summits, that's the site for the multi-speaker events from now on. And Trading Open. My live room, you can get to it at trademastery.com/live. I'd like to work with you guys every day. And again, you can ask me questions, and I'm very friendly and easy to work with. So you can feel free to join as a member and try it out for yourself. And the main thing that differentiates me is not only the win rate of my alerts, but the fact that I do have specific price triggers, like you can see in the tables over there. And look at the performance of those compared to where they ended. I give specific entry prices long before 9:30, and then I update it throughout the session, or until 11 o'clock. We go 8:30 till 11, and then 3:30 to 4, and then anytime there's something else going on. So anyway, join my live room. It'd be great to have you guys as part of the family. I hope that in the meantime, you guys have a peaceful, safe, relaxing weekend ahead, and ultimately a successful year, because we've got lots of money out there to be made or lost, and we want to make more this year than ever before. So take care and best wishes. I will see you guys in our next Saturday event next week. Be careful out there. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for now.